Hey, how's it going, everybody? So on the four-wheeler, we ran it for a little while tonight, and it decided it wanted to get hot. On a factory skidoo, they have a radiator that actually sits in front of the snow track, and as it's driving, it throws snow up onto that extra little radiator that's in that area, and it cools it. Well, on the four-wheeler here, we've just got the little small front end radiator that the Skidoo had factory, and it's not going to be enough. So me and Brad ran to the parts store earlier, and we picked up a radiator. The radiator that we picked up is for a Honda Civic. So it's not real big. It's like 17 inches tall and 14 inches wide. It should fit up in the front of the four-wheeler pretty well. So I'm going to hang you guys up on the wall and let you watch. Here we go. Alright, so got the radiator off the quad. This is kind of the setup that I had before. There was a T up top, so it could go to the cooling bottle. Won't need that anymore. We're going to have a radiator with an actual radiator cap, so we should be good there. Probably going to take the front bumper off just so the radiator will fit on there. In case you guys didn't see, this thing is quite bent from a crash. The guy that we bought the quad off of, he said that he hit a tree, so it's definitely twisted. So chances are I'm probably not going to use that anyway. Put some brackets off and make the radiator fit. Don't worry about a bumper later. Cooling's more important. Alright, so I'd be really worried to leave that down against the bottom of the frame there. Main reason being is because the control arms, if I do decide to ramp something, they'll come up and they will hit the bottom tank of the radiator and end up crushing it and breaking it. So I'm going to have to raise it up a little bit higher and figure out what we need to do with the outlet. Alright, so I think I've got it where I want it. I'm going to have to build off a couple of mounting brackets right up here off of the factory mount for the front plastics. Just a couple of little L brackets, something I can put a 10mm nut through, or a bolt through. We'll have to put some kind of a rubber isolator in between the radiator and the frame so it doesn't rub through it. Alright, so I found a mount back over there that was for something else, and got two nice little L's. They've got holes in the ends I can put a washer behind and nuts through. The bolts on the radiator, it's got nuts that slide into a receiver, so should be able to use these brackets, just weld them on both sides, and be able to mount the radiator to both sides of it. Alright, so I've got a couple of the brackets tack welded in place. Let me show where we're at here. 24 minutes. Cool. So, here we are here. Got both of these brackets welded in place. So the bolt come in from behind right here. It'll just bolt in right here and right here. So it's got the little nutsert right here in the front of the radiator. They'll just literally just bolt together. Looks like everything else is going to work out pretty good. The outlet down here is going to be in the right spot. The outlet up here, we're just going to have to take and turn the hose and come down around the side of the quad, it looks like. But that shouldn't be a major issue. Alright, I guess I'll see if I can find some bolts that'll fit those nuts that are in the radiator. Okay, so what I found was a couple of bolts from the snowmobile. There are a couple of Torx heads. There's a right metric fine thread, 10 millimeter. Actually be an 8 millimeter shank and thread. Found two of them identical. It'll match. Seemed to work. Be a little bit of fighting with it, but kind of stiff and not really. Put a little bit of lube in the inside of it.
Alrighty, it is the next morning, afternoon, we'll call it morning, whatever. I am back in Brad's garage by myself this time, and the idea today is to try and get something reasonably legitimate as far as exhaust is concerned done. Jake and Brad are both at work. I had the day off today, so I thought I'd come over here and try and knock it out. As you saw from the stuff that we did last night, we did have kind of had a muffler just taped onto the exhaust, trying to keep it quiet. Today I'm actually going to try and run the exhaust around the right side of the quad here and try to get it as far out the back as I can. Let me show you my materials. So what I have to work with is this right here. This is the exhaust off of Brad's Fox body, so we don't need any of that anymore. I also have this 2-inch stick of conduit, and I have this piece here, which is our baller pipe that we kind of just made up for testing purposes only. I know for a fact that I have to have this flange, so I'm going to cut that flange off of there, and I believe I'm probably going to have to use this bend right here to get it to come the way that I want to. So it's going to be a bunch of pieces put together, but the plan is to exhaust wrap everything, so you're really not going to see much of it anyways. So I'm going to stick you guys up on the wall, and it's going to be probably a lot of back and forth, a lot of test fitting and tacking and so on and so forth, so enjoy. so I got the first two pieces I think I need. I went ahead and I did cut that flange off of this resonator, because I do need that flange for where it goes on to, see that? Yeah, onto the exhaust manifold. It's got a gasket there. So what I've done is I got a piece of pipe that I think is going to get me the angle I want. You notice there's a couple of silver lines on it. That's essentially just to tell me where I need to weld that on at. So first part, now let's get this welder fired up that I've only used once and I'm not very good with it, and see if we can make these two pieces one piece. Alrighty, so I've got a couple of mediocre tack welds on it, but it's not going to focus. I don't know if you can see that or not, but I think it's a penetration in there. So we're going to go over here and kind of see what I'm getting at. I'll have to get a way to fix it on there, but that is more or less going to give me the angle that I need to keep that gasket in there the way it's supposed to, and to run the pipe out that side. Alrighty everyone, I got a little carried away. I had the music cranked up in the garage and I just kind of started getting stuff done. I went a lot farther without filming anything than I necessarily wanted to. Keep in mind, none of this cost any money. It was all stuff that we had laying around or got for free. So there is that. Now I'm going to show you what I came up with. I'm going to finish welding it and then I'll put it back on so you guys can see what it looks like, and then we'll probably go ahead and fire it up and see what it sounds like. But anyways, here's what we got so far. So we have this piece down here that goes to the exhaust manifold, comes up into a piece of that conduit, and then through some sections that I have the Grand Canyon to weld on, and then to this tip out the back. I think he wants to eventually dual it, which I think he'll have enough room under there to do whatever he wants to do. So this is just kind of a very, very rough getting everything together type deal. So I'm just gonna finish welding all this stuff up. Not very well, but welded none the least, and we'll just go from there. All right, so that's not where it sits. I don't have it on there yet, but we have some exhaust. I'm going to stick the springs on there and kind of pin it up and see what it looks like after that, but not bad for 2 hours worth of work and a bunch of scrap junk all over the place. So we'll see what it sounds like. Alrighty, ladies and germs. I've got the springs up there on the manifold. I have a piece of wire here that I tried to strip the sheath off and it did not work. And then back here, there is a zip tie and a shock bushing kind of taped to the frame. So hopefully it doesn't rattle too ridiculously. So I think we're gonna fire this bad boy up and see what she's gonna sound like, and kind of check and see if I have any major exhaust leaks. And if so, I'll just tell Jake about it and I'll let him weld, because I'm about done welding for the day. Alrighty, let's see how she sounds. You probably couldn't hear that very well in the video. It's very obnoxious, but I did trim just a little spot on the plastic down here, and it seems to fit pretty well. It gets hot really fast, so we're definitely going to have to do some heat wrapping or maybe reroute this little rubber hose here somewhere. It's really close to the oil filter. It's really close to everything. So we'll eventually figure out what we're going to do there. This was just kind of to get it together so the exhaust isn't just blowing a big flame out of the front of it. I would like to think there's a fairly good run of pipe here, so maybe we're getting a little bit of back pressure. And I did use the factory resonator underneath of here, which is probably just amplifying the sound along with this 5-inch tip or 4.5-inch tip, whatever it is. It's just bouncing around in there and it's ignorantly loud. But the exhaust is done, so to speak. I don't know if Jake will keep it like this or if he'll eventually change it. But either way, I didn't have anything else really to do today, so I just decided to come over here and knock it out. I've been telling him I was going to do it for 2 weeks now, but this is at least out the back so that he'll be able to ride it. And the plastics on the back, like I said, little trim I had to make, and it clears. So the heat tape will keep the heat in the pipe as opposed to broadcasting all that heat onto the side of the engine or onto your leg. That is the hopes anyways. But for now, I think we're just gonna leave it there, and if he decides to come by later, I'm sure he'll fire it up, and he's gonna be more than happy with the obnoxious loud that it is. So if you enjoyed this video or any of the other videos, please do like and subscribe, leave comments. We really want people to stay active in commenting so that we know what you guys want to see and what you don't want to see. Anyways, thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed this upload. I know it was a lot of tedious, just, welding. There was some stuff I just kind of forgot to record, but if you do like these videos, please do subscribe to the channel, like the videos, hit the notification bell. That way when we upload new videos, you're one of the first one that sees them. And if there's ever anything that you would like us to do, drop it down in the comments. Let us know. That's the only way we know that we're bringing you content that you actually want to see, is if people tell us about it. Again, thanks for watching, and have a great day.